I am making some beetroot burgers, and they're beetroot and tofu burgers, but you can swap the tofu for other ingredients. I'll walk you through it. These are very easy to make. They are absolutely delicious, and they're bursting with natural fiber, protein, phytonutrients, vitamins, minerals. I mean, you name it, it's in these burgers. So let me show you how to make them. I'm using black beans today, and I'm using black beans partly just simply because the black beans, I prefer a darker coloured bean for these burgers, because if I use a pale coloured bean, like for instance chickpeas or something, they would still be just as delicious and they'd still work really well. It's just that actually the burgers might look a little bit anemic or a little bit pink if you use a pale coloured bean. And so that's why I'm using a black bean. I guess you could use a kidney bean as well. So these black beans, I just love them anyway, and they're just fabulous. I've cooked them up quite soft, but if you get them from a can, they'll be plenty soft enough. So what I'm doing is 90 grams of black beans in here, or roughly 90 grams, and I'm just mashing them up a bit. Not fully, I'm going to leave a few that are whole. I'm just giving them a bit of a mush to mash them up a bit. All right, and then what I'm going to add next is some tofu, or tofu. And this is firm tofu I'm going to use, because I'm using that to add in protein, also again benefits for the gut microbiome, phytonutrients in tofu and things like that. Tofu itself doesn't have actually that much flavour. And it's funny, it takes on the flavour of whatever dish you're putting it into. And I'm using firm tofu here because I don't want to add too much liquid to these burgers. And if you use the silken tofu, or sometimes it's just called soft tofu, it's a little bit too wet for these burgers. So look out for the word firm, in the UK anyway, on the packaging. And I'm adding about 90 grams of tofu, and that's a great protein source, but of course full of phytoestrogens as well as phytonutrients. So fantastic for our bodies. I am adding then in I'm going to just chop up actually some spring onions. I'm going to choose, say, 2 spring onions here, and I'm going to just chop them up finely. There you go. Just real finely. Oh, we've got some runaway spring onions here. Spring onions, of course, part of that kind of onion, garlicky, allicin family. And spring onions, amazing for your gut. Your gut microbes love onions, but also so does your liver. It's got just great ingredients in it that really support that. You can use the green as well as the white. Use the whole spring onion. Don't waste it. Here we are. All right, so we've got spring onions. We've got tofu, we've got black beans, all right? So lovely, just delicious. Now I'm gonna add some flavors. I'm gonna add a pinch of chili flakes. Now look, how much you add is up to you. I love a good kick, but if you don't want any chili flavor, well, just leave them out. Or you can use fresh chilies, or you could use like jalapeno peppers. That's a lovely different type of heat. I'm adding some miso paste to this. Miso paste is just got a lovely umami flavour. It's really savoury, and what it's going to do to this dish is really give it that real savouriness. In fact, I'm just sucking some extra miso off my finger. So that's what it adds to it. Now I'm going to bring this all together with 2 ingredients to make it kind of stick. I'm adding in flaxseed here, and I'm just a bit obsessed with flaxseed. I love it. So this is ground flaxseed. If you use the whole flaxseed, it's actually not going to work. It's not going to be sticky, but I'm using about 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, which of course is a protein source as well, and anti-inflammatory oils in it. It's just gorgeous. But it also has phytonutrients and phytoestrogens in it. So we're talking about whole body health here in this burger. I'm using an egg. I'm using an egg as well as the flaxseed to bind these burgers together. Now, if you were vegan, don't use the egg then, and instead use a little bit of silken tofu in this burger mix. And so then you've got a bit of wetness. So instead of the firm tofu, you'd use silken tofu. And you'd use a little bit extra flaxseed, maybe another half extra tablespoon of flaxseed in here. And that would stick it together, and you'd let the mixture rest for about half an hour. And then it's absolutely gorgeous. Now what am I doing? I'm mixing this together. I'm making sure all the miso paste just breaks up and kind of softens into the burger ingredients. I'm making sure it's really well mixed together. I don't want to bite into my burger and get this kind of hit of just whole miso paste. So that's what I'm trying to do here, to get this mixed up. And then we've got a couple of other ingredients I just like. I'm just putting them in because I love them. And I'm putting in a little bit of cumin seed. Probably about a teaspoon of cumin seeds in here. And I just really like occasionally biting into a whole cumin seed in these burgers. And for a bit of crunch, I'm adding in some pumpkin seed. But of course, pumpkin seeds themselves have protein in. Adding in about a couple of tablespoons of pumpkin seeds. They have anti-inflammatory oil, and they contain zinc, and things like that. All fabulous. And so, you know, you can see how this burger is layering up with just great ingredients for your gut health. And the final ingredient, the beetroot. I'm doing this last because the beetroot can be really, really staining up on your hands. So I'm actually putting on some gloves here just for this beetroot part. I'm actually going to turn the heat up on my pan ready. Okay. And I'm going to get that going. Okay, gosh, the light's so bright today, I can't see if it's... There we go, let's just get that going. There we are. All right. Okay, so I'm grating in about half a really big beetroot. I'll pop the weight in the recipe for you. I suspect it'll be around 100 grams of beetroot, and I'm just grating it in. Absolutely no need to peel the beetroot, as long as you've washed it really well. So I'm putting in about 100 grams. Now when, of course, you cook up this beetroot, it will go a little bit soft and slightly wet, which is why you need the egg and the flaxseed meal to kind of absorb that liquid and bind everything together. And it all works and it sticks. So about 100 grams of beetroot in here. There we go. I'd say that's about it. There we go. Just get that out of the way. All right, now mix that in all together really well. I'll pop a little bit of olive oil into my pan. There we go. All right. Okay. And that is, just gorgeous. Right. Can you see what I mean about the colour? Actually, you'll see when I cook it anyway, but if I had used something like a pale bean, like chickpeas or cannellini beans or something like that, it would just be quite a bright pink colour, the burger, and to me that's somehow off-putting. I feel like bright pink should be a cake or something. Now, how many does this mixture make? I'd say it makes 3 really big burgers, probably really 4 standard burger sizes. What I'm doing is I'm shaping up this burger into a ball, squeezing it together well, and then I flatten the ball out a bit, and in it goes. There we go. And I'll show you a few baby ones. I often do these almost like little baby kind of nibble ones, or maybe sometimes with my lunch I might just get this mixture and I might put it together and I just fry up a few of these little ones because they fry up much quicker. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to take these gloves off. There we go. Pop that out of the way for a minute. Oh, I haven't done a pretty picture for you of the burger, have I? Shaping it up, it's gone a little bit skewy. Let's just tidy up the edges here. There we are. Lovely. Okay. And what might I put with these? So whilst those are cooking, I might just say to you, what would I put with these? So I reckon I love to layer up my burgers with other ingredients, and I would probably almost certainly do up some sort of greens and that sort of thing. Actually, I might even do some onion rings for a bit of a laugh, a bit of a classic look. And so I'll just fry off a few onion rings at the same time. as these burgers. And I just love that sweet flavour of cooked fried onions. So I'll put a few onion rings in to cook up whilst the burgers are cooking. There we are. And I might get some avocado ready. I do like avocado, actually. That would be a really good one to use. Let's just open up this avocado ready. There we go. I can smell this, you can't, but the smell coming off them is delicious. It's like a hint of cumin and like a real savoury smell because of the miso. In fact, I'll just season up these burgers whilst they're cooking and season up the onion rings. So nice. There we go. And of course, super healthy oil that you're cooking them in, because extra virgin olive oil, not regular olive oil, but extra virgin olive oil can withstand high heat temperatures for cooking, up to 210 degrees centigrade, quite safely. And so actually, it's always my preferred frying oil. When I say frying, of course, not deep fried frying, deep fat frying, where, you know, you've got much higher temperatures. But this shallow little kind of just a bit of oil in a pan sort of frying, then I would definitely use extra virgin olive oil. Now those onion rings are ready, and actually that means that the pan is quite hot, so I might just turn over the burgers so that they don't cook too much on one side. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Look at that lovely colour on those burgers there. That's just delicious. There we go. Turn that down slightly. So those little ones we cooked in a flash, they would probably take about 4 minutes, a couple of minutes on each side. The bigger burger, you just want the heat to get to the centre, to just heat up the egg a bit. So they'll just be a couple more minutes. I think all up I'd use about 10 minutes, probably 5 minutes each side on that. Now, what else am I going to add with this burger? What I'm going to do is I'm in fact going to just wilt up some greens in the pan. So let me just make some room for that. Oop. And these are spring greens because they're in season at the moment here in the UK. But you could use anything. You could use chard, cavolo nero. You could use the tops of the beetroot, anything you like. Just a bit of greens, wilted up. There we go, lovely. Oop, there's one that's got away. And then I'm just going to add that into the pan. All I want these greens to do is just wilt. And I'm actually going to chop up a teeny weeny bit of chilli to go with the greens, because I quite like the combo of chilli and greens. All right, good. There we go. So we'll put those in as well, in with the chilli and the greens. Smell. Okay, now these little babies, they'd be done now, so I'm just going to bring them out. Put them here on the board. Just move those greens around. All you're doing with greens when you cook them is you're just wilting them. That's all you have to do, because the wilting kind of opens them up, like, so you absorb the nutrients from the greens far more when you are cooking them than if they were raw. You see, that's it. Those greens are ready now. That's all you need for those greens. So I'm going to bring them out as well. Done. Gorgeous. Now, that burger is looking just delicious and ready. I'm just going to bring that out onto the board there. Turn that off. Okay, and then I might show you how I build it up. So I would so certainly, I think I would just have just gorgeous, lovely, soft, ripe avocado coming on here. And oh, I'm going to eat some. I mean, I might put some of these, they're a bit hot, some of these onion rings on here. And then, oh, hot. Then I would put that wilted, there we go, lovely. And that lovely wilted greens. And then I think I'd finish it all off with a bit of lemon juice. I might even put a dollop of yogurt on top or something like that. A little bit of extra salt and pepper. I mean, I think you are going to just love it. Salt and pepper, and there we go. That's your beetroot burger, beautiful beetroot and tofu burger with a lovely miso umami flavour with other fabulous ingredients piled up. I think really, let me know how you go with it. I'd love you to know.